Okay, so most of you already know what I'm doing and my background, but for those who are new to this batch, I will just take you through my background, and then we will discuss why we are here today and how we can proceed further on the learning astrology part. All right, so see, I have a total experience of 24 years in astrology, and I have been learning astrology right from my childhood, that is from the age of 17. That time I learned the basics of astrology through my father, because my father was an officer in the Indian Army, but he also learned astrology during his lifetime, and through his during his career only. And through him I got exposed to astrology, and I learned astrology, the basics of astrology, at the age of 17 years. No, that is before I even completed my teens. And since then I have been giving up a lot of predictions and trying to analyze a lot of birth charts through my own interpretation of those the processes that I learned from my father. And subsequently I have graduated, moved ahead from there, and I did my formal learning in astrology from Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. This was in early 2000. And there I did my Jyotish Alankar and Jyotish Acharya course, where all the details and the structure and all the basics of astrology I learned, or maybe I should say relearned in a new way. Uh, that is where I started off. Now, why did I choose astrology, or why I got into astrology is something. It's a strange thing, because it is normally said that we don't choose astrology. Astrology actually chooses us. So that's what exactly happened to me. I had no interest in astrology while I was growing up, but one fine day at the age of when I was about almost nearing 17, close to 17, that time I happened to see and learn from my father that what kind of books he was having in his shelf. And I was very curious, and I just went through those books. And those books were actually the shastras of astrology, the basics of astrology. And out of nowhere I took a very keen interest in astrology from then on. And then I used to sit with my father, and I used to see him read birth charts and everything. And that was something very strange that was happening to me at that time. I never expected that I will get into astrology. I had more dreams, more ambitions in life. I wanted to become a civil servant, and that was my ambition. So, but as destiny would have it, that I actually learned astrology then. And I started executing like a curious child. We all do it. We start using it on our own horoscopes. And that's what I started doing. And I could understand so much about myself through those parameters in astrology and how I am as a person. I used that to my advantage, and at the age of 24, I had actually cleared the civil services. But as luck would have it, again, because destiny is something which we cannot fight. So I got selected in the civil services, but just before the joining, in the list, they had reduced 150 more seats. So I was just left, just looking forward, and I could see my goal, my ambition of becoming a civil servant just vanish right from my hands. So that was a bit disappointing, but I always had astrology to understand that why, what is happening to me and why it is happening to me. And it has helped me a great deal, in understanding my own life. And of course, then thereon, I have been, I've worked as a journalist. I have worked as a business consultant, a management consultant for over, 12, 13 years. And all this while, I have always been very intrigued to use astrology for different, categories of people, like professionals, CEOs, CFOs, financial heads, uh, technology heads, and all those corporate leaders that, how did they reach that top? I always used to, practice astrology with them. And it has been a, very interesting ride for me thereafter. So that was a bit background about myself, and right now, today, I'm also associated with a couple of publications. If you happen to look for my articles on the online, I write for the Speaking Tree, which is the Times of India property. I also write columns for Hindustan Times, Business World, and for our Hindi readers, I contribute articles for Navbharat Times, where I have predicted about the world economy, about the coronavirus, and the financial astrology, and all these aspects of life. Now, when I joined astrology, when I took astrology as my purpose of life, and decided to teach astrology, my fundamental goal, a mission, as I can say, is very clear. Because all this while, when I was practicing for last 20 years or so, 24 years, I had seen that there was so much of scare, so much of fear among people's lives, and of course the astrologers themselves are responsible for this. We really emphasize on certain negatives of a birth chart, and the person is actually petrified or quite fearful of those remedies and everything. So my goal, when I actually went into astrology, was to remove fear from the lives of the people through astrology. And the only way we could have done this is by putting it as a science. Because the moment we take out the scientific element out of astrology, then we are left with a very a shallow view of astrology, and then it's highly subjective. So my goal is to put up teach astrology in the most scientific manner, and we can then have those principles, keep applying those principles on your own life, on your own charts, and thereafter you will see those things having miracles in your life through those methods. Okay, so now the important part here is that why we need to learn astrology. Some of you may have this thought in your mind that what is the need to learn astrology, and what is the purpose that we should have. Of all things, why do we need to learn astrology only? And the answer to that is very simple, that we need to make firstly the sense of this madness that is happening in life. We take birth, we live, we produce, and we enjoy, and we eventually perish and die. But in this whole period of say 50 to 70, 80, 90, 100 years, what is it that we have achieved? And is there any sense to this this madness that we live? This is something which learning astrology will really help us to understand why something happens, what is the purpose behind it, and what is the connection with our own existence. That these are the answers that astrology provides us. And then we have, of course, to live a more fulfilling life, a life which is less of fear and more of happiness. That is the mantra that we all should live with in life. And as per the astrology charts, now our potential is infinite. All right, there is no limit to our growth and success. The only limit is our own mind, and that's what astrology tells us. The charts show us that we should not limit ourselves. There's a time, of course, there's a time for everything in life, and we must make use of those energies and that time period to really attract abundance. And when we talk about abundance, attracting abundance, it means success, money, love, anything that we want to attract. So that is something which astrology really helps us to predict. And when I say astrology, I'm talking about Vedic astrology, because Vedic astrology is highly different from any other forms of astrology we see across the world. And I will also come to that now. Okay. All right, so now I will just take you through certain things of about Vedic astrology, and then we'll come to the course content, so that you have a view and understanding about how things are moving forward. Just a second, please. Okay. Right. So now I will show you, I think this would be visible to you. Okay. Is the slide visible to all of you?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thanks. All right, so now let's see the Vedic astrology, some highlights about astrology, and what kind of you know level that you will be getting into when you're going to learn Vedic astrology. Uh, See, the Vedic part that we have in Indian astrology is the fact that it is the oldest predictive science known to mankind, and it is based on nakshatras. All right, this is not something which has been borrowed out from somewhere. We have references of astrology, Vedic astrology, right in the Vedas only. And this method is based on nakshatras. This is not based on your sun sign. This is based on moon sign. So that makes it highly accurate and very, very fulfilling as an astrologer. Secondly, it is a science and an art. All right, it is science because we have scientific tools, we have astronomical charts that we make use of, and through those charts we predict and make a birth chart. But when we predict, and when we interpret certain rules that are mentioned in the shastras, that is something which is an art, because everybody will see the same combinations, but they may end up predicting differently. That's because the way we have been designed, the way we have understood life, is what demarcates two people's predictions, two astrologers' predictions may vary in certain cases. Okay, so I'm sure some of you would know, who have interest in astrology, that the Rishi Parashar, in his Brihat Parashar Hora Shastra, was one of the earliest texts we have as a reference manual for Vedic astrology, even though there were certain texts before this as well. इससे पहले भी काफी ऋषियों ने, जिसको हम सप्त ऋषि बोलते हैं, सप्त ऋषियों ने भी ये ऐसे टेक्स्ट और भी बनाए थे, जैसे वरमहीर का है पंच सिद्धांतिका, but those are not where we have specific rules about astrology. This is the place where we have the one Brihat Parashar Hora Shastra, and I will just show you something. All right, so this is the just have a look. See, this is the Shastra. Okay, this is how thick it is. This is still slightly old, almost 20 years before I purchased this. So we have two such volumes of the text of Brihat Parashar Hora Shastra, and it's a beautifully written commentary. It is quite elaborate and quite written at length, actually. So we have more than 1200 pages of these shastras that are there. So that's where the role of Rishi Parashar comes in our lives. All right, so now after this, in the 21st century, and before that in the 20th century, post-independence, we had Mr. B.V. Raman, who was from Bangalore. He did remarkable, contribution to astrology. In fact, he's the modern astrologer that actually contributed to making Vedic astrology a household name across the country and across the world, for that matter. And he founded a lot of institutes on astrological research, and he was also working with the government of India in terms of working out the ephemeris and a lot of other astronomical parameters. And last but not the least, Mr. K.N. Rao, who's based out of Andhra Pradesh. He has contributed extensively to making astrology a science, and the scientific principles in astrology is all contributed by Mr. K.N. Rao. And I was fortunate enough to learn astrology formally from Mr. K.N. Rao, and I can tell you that yes, the scientific approach to astrology owes everything to Mr. K.N. Rao. Okay, so moving on, this is where, and now let us see what astrology is. Okay, I will put it in a very scientific format for you so that you understand, because there's more to it when we read more. But to put it in a nutshell, Vedic astrology is nothing but a problem-solving tool. And when I say problem, I'm not referring to the negative connotations. It is not just that it is not कि हमारी life में negative ही है सब कुछ, But eventually we are faced with problems in life, right? Because of our mental blocks and everything else. So this we have, the first step is to analyze the potential of a birth chart of a life. And when the first step is to analyze, we have these methods through which we analyze a birth chart. Now, these methods are, as some of you would already know, these are 12 signs, which we call Rashis. We have 27 nakshatras. We have 243 Upnakshatras, or we also call them as sublords. 12 houses, 9 planets, and we have close to 60 divisional charts. So we need to combine everything that we learn here to only analyze the potential. This is the most tricky part here, the first level of analyzing the potential, because we need to understand all of them. Without a knowledge of these principles and these methods, we will not be able to move to the second level. So this is something that we will be learning here in these courses. The second time is to, when we analyze the potential, that okay, we see that a marriage is supposed to happen at a, in a person's chart, but when is the event likely to happen, the timing of the event. And the timing we study through two methods. One is the Dasha system, or the Dasha Paddhati. In the Dasha Paddhati, we have 3 kinds of Dasha that we use in Vedic Jyotish. One is your Vimshotri Dasha. Then second is your Yogini Dasha, and we also use Char Dasha. These 3 dashas we must use all the time to predict an event in terms of when the event is likely to happen. And then we need to apply the transit, or which we also call Gochar, of Saturn, Jupiter, double transit, you must have heard. So these are the transits we must apply to understand, when the event is likely to happen. Last but not the least, when we have timed the event and we see that a certain problem is expected in life, how do we rectify that problem? How do we rectify the situation? We have these tools with us. We have the mantras, we have the gemstones, we can do donations, charity, we can fast, we can use Vastu, and there are a lot of practical steps as well that we can use. Now, from the prism of astrology, I mean, if we look at how the cosmos is perceived by astrology, because these are the basics of astrology that very few people will actually understand, or help you understand, because people nowadays really want to jump into predictions, but without understanding these basics, it's difficult to make sense of why something is going to happen. So the basis of the cosmos is the Panchbhut system. The Panchbhut is basically the 5 elements that are present in every living creature on earth. In fact, it is this Panchbhut system only, these 5 elements which are responsible for life on earth, and not on other planets. So these you would have heard. One is the fire element, the earth element, the air element, the water element, and the space element. Now, these 5 elements, how do they represent themselves in our life, in our own body? Because we are the testimony to our life. Now, how do we relate it? Fire gives us the heat, the warmth in the temperature that we need in our body to sustain. The earth element is about bones and organs. Air is about breathing. Water is about water component and the blood. And the space is the astral body, which is the place where we we breathe, basically the space. And the sense is related to it. The fire is related to sight, how we see, how we look. The earth is smell, air is touch, water is taste, space is sound. And then we have these planets which represent these elements, components. And when we learn about astrology, we will also look at these parts. Like if your sun is strong in a horoscope, for example, if your sun is very strong in a horoscope, it means the fire element is quite abundant. But if your Mercury is weak, that means your earthy element needs to be balanced in life. And how do we balance earthy element? In whoever's chart, आप सब अपनी अपनी कुंडलियों में देख सकते हैं, जिसका भी Mercury कमजोर है, in your own chart, if your Mercury is weak, the earthy element is missing in your life. And when we talk about earthy element, it all boils down to your mathematical calculations, your accounting skills, your rational logic attitude, basically your rational. rationalism in life. So that is something which is missing, which obviously is not bad, but there's a way to study it. So that's how we need to apply these principles. और ये जो ये जितनी भी लाइफ फॉर्म्स हैं, इसको हम पूरी लाइफ फॉर्म्स को, all these life forms are divided into 3 parts in terms of our astrology. One is the dhatu. Dhatu is the metal, the mineral which is found below the earth. All right, these dhatu or minerals are also because of these 5 components. Please don't forget, everything is now related to these 5 components. A dhatu and metal is also important to study, because a lot of times we will see when we predict that how the metal, because metal can be something, for example, like iron. Now iron is metal. Do you know that if your Mars is in your lagna and also aspected by Saturn and in a particular sign like a Cancer or Scorpio, then you are very prone to getting accident because of iron. आपको जो भी प्रॉब्लम आएगी, चोट लगेगी, you will be facing injury related to iron only. So that's why these metals are important in our lives. They are everywhere. कहाँ पर क्या रखना है house में. We are surrounded by minerals and metals in our lives. Even body has minerals, but they are found below the earth. Okay, and these are the planets which resemble the dhatu. Second is the mool, which is nothing but the vegetation part, which we found on the land and water. These are the plants, the trees or any fruits that we have. Even they are also very important in our lives. They give us oxygen, and they are responsible for our own living on earth. And the planets are Sun and Venus. And the last category is the jiva, which is the living beings. Living beings are people like us. Like इसमें भी 2 categories हैं. We have different categories. First is the 2-legged ones, like the human beings. There are 4 legs creatures, like a tiger, lion, any other creature. And then there are insects, right, which have multiple legs, more than 2 and 4. So they also are covered under these, and Jupiter, Mercury are the planets for these. Okay, now quickly I will take you through this, that when we look at the forecasting, how do we forecast when we talk about the Dasha, Vimshottari Dasha, which is the most common Dasha, most widely used Dasha in Vedic astrology. Now, this is the life sequence of this Dasha pattern. Total lifespan is 120 years considered in the Vimshottari Dasha. और विमशोत्तरी दशा के अंदर देखिए ये प्लैनेट्स का सीक्वेंस है. केतु, Venus, Sun, Moon, Mars, Rahu, Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury. This is the sequence. Okay, जब भी हम दशा आप एक बार लर्न करेंगे, you will see the dashas run in the same sequence. They will never go up and down. इसी sequence में आएगी. These are the years. Ketu gives us 7 years of life. Venus 20, Sun 6, Moon 10, Mars 7, Rahu 18, Jupiter 16, Saturn 19, and Mercury 17. So these are the planets which contribute to these 120 years, and this is the share of their years in life. Now, why does this happen? Why this sequence has been followed? This is very interesting, and this is something which may be quite intriguing for some of you. देखिए जो केतु है, Ketu resembles our karmic bondage. Because in Vedic system, the fundamentals are very simple, that we take birth because of our karmas. And in every birth, there are certain unfulfilled karmas. And when the karmas get fulfilled, or we have achieved a majority of the karmas, we perish and we take a new birth in a new form. So Ketu is the planet which is a karmic bondage, past karma, moksha. Basically, this planet gives us death, okay, the moksha, and it links between the past and the present life. So that's why when our life has to begin with Ketu, that's the most important planet. Then we come to Venus, the next planet in this sequence. Venus is life, through the sperm, the fertilization with the egg, life happens, and Venus is the planet for that. When life happens, the soul enters into that life, and that is nothing but Sun. So Sun is our soul, our ego. The moment the soul is, inside a baby, and the baby comes out, it develops its own mind, right, which is the moon. And from there, the physical existence also is formed. The energy levels of the body, how much energy, how much of strength, that is nothing but Mars. And from here, now these 5 planets have contributed to the physical and mental existence and spiritual existence of the body. Now here on, we are now starting a new birth. Rahu is the unfulfilled karmas, the desires that we have. We want to become, a CEO of a company. We want to be a very rich person. We want to love somebody. We want somebody in our lives. These are all Rahu dictated matters. And these are desires which Rahu gives us. When we get into this, that's where the 18 years period has been given to Rahu. If I just go back to the slide, see, Rahu has been given 18 years because even the nature wants us to, chase our desires. But at the end of it, it's all desires are never fulfilled. And because of this, then the Jupiter comes into the picture, which is nothing but our Jiva Atma or self-realization. We get a lot of knowledge through our own experience of life, and that leads to self-realization. Then Saturn comes in our life and purifies those actions. Okay, the action is purified, and it is very point clear that this is what your actions are and what you have done good, what you have done bad in life. And the last planet that comes in this sequence is Mercury, which is your highest form of consciousness or intelligence, which Mercury gives us in life. That's why the sequence has been like this in the Vimshottari Dasha period. Okay, now quickly coming to the next important part. All these planets have been given certain role in terms of a heavenly cabinet, because now how do we categorize these planets? Now, Sun is nothing but the king. Okay, Sun is supreme, the king. Moon is the queen. Mars, the commander-in-chief. Mercury is the crown prince. Jupiter is the minister of gods. He is the advisor of gods. Venus is the advisor of demons. Both are equally strong. Jupiter, Venus, both are benefics. Both are positive planets. But Venus is the minister for demons. Jupiter is the minister for gods. So that is a big difference. Now, next is Saturn. Saturn is the servant or the public. Rahu is your advancing army, which is like your marching army, attacking army, and Ketu is the occupying army. That something has already been conquered. And that is what Ketu represents in this cabinet. So this is how we need to see. This is your horoscope, as you must be knowing, the powerhouse of energy, which we call. This is the 12 houses in astrology. जो 12 घर हम देखते हैं कुंडली के अंदर, ये वो घर है. पहला भाव जो है वो लग्न है आपकी कुंडली का. This is your own existence. This is where we are right now. And ये इस sequence चलता है. It goes anti-clockwise. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 houses anti-clockwise, and this is your entire life cycle through these 12 houses. Right, so इनमें से सबसे important क्या है? First house, because ये हमारा existence है. This is our existence. And the 5th house and the 9th house, this is the triangle or the trine that we say. This is the foundation of our life, the secret of life and death, because the soul enters from this house, our past karmas. Okay, now this where I've written 5. This is the 5th house of our past karmas. This past karmas, this is your house of mother. So it reaches through your mother and it goes to the 1st house. The new life form is born. Through this life form, we do karmas, which is your house of 10th house, your career or your actions. And from here, we come to the nice 9th house of your bhagya, of your destiny. So this connection, is the most important pious connection in the horoscope, which gives meaning to this whole chakra of life. All right, 159. As you would know, when we learn deeper into astrology, you will understand the importance of these 3 houses. 159, they will always support you in your life. Whenever you're down, you're out, you are facing any problem, but whenever these 3 houses get activated, they will pull you out of the problem, because they are meant to sustain your life. They're not meant to destroy you. So that's a big difference here. Next, we come to the Kendras. Okay, these are the foundations. Now, the Kendras is what maintains our life. The 1st house is our own self. The 4th house is the house of your happiness. 7th house is your, your public life, your marriage, and 10th house is a house of your action. So all these, we keep doing these things, and that's what sustains this life. The desires that we discussed, what Rahu gives. All these desires are done through these 4 Kendra houses. Now, the next level of energy that we have, the next trine is the 3, 6 and 11 house, which we call the Trishadaya house. Trishadaya भाव इनको बोलते हैं, और ये हमारी लाइफ में challenges रखते हैं. These give us challenges in our lives. Okay. Now, these challenges come in 3 forms: the desire, which is the 3rd house, anger, which is the 6th house, and the greed, that is the 11th house. So you can see, these are the houses which gives us challenges, and that is why we say in these 3 houses we should have only the malefic planets. आप लोग जानते होंगे malefic planets जैसे शनि, मंगल, Saturn, Mars, Rahu, Ketu. These are the men, or Sun for that matter. Even Sun is also a cruel planet in astrology in certain aspects. So these planets should be placed in these houses to stop, the negativity coming into your life. If there are good planets like Jupiter or Venus, they will not be able to stop negativity, because 2 and 2, for example, consider this is your house and these are the doors to your house. So we need the gatekeeper to be strong and rude and not very polite and gentle, or, who will always meet everybody with folded hands and allow everybody in. We don't want the positive planets here. We want the strong negative planets in these houses. Next is the house of accumulation and destruction. Now, see, this house is the house of accumulation, house number 2. From here, the opposite house, the 7th house, is house of your destruction. And again, from here till 12th, this is also house of your exit and destruction. So this cycle, if your planets are in these houses 2, 8, and 12, that shows that your life will be, it will lead in a very different, you will accumulate a lot, but you will also grow highly spiritual in your life. So this is how the entire life cycle we can capture through these angles. See, you have the trikonas, the trines, then the kendras, then your 3, 6, 11 axis, and your 2, 8, 12 axis. This is how we need to understand the different energy forms operating in our lives. And then the planets also come in. Now, something which I'm sure most of you would be curious to know, if you're studying astrology, what are those combinations, that will may help you make become an astrologer, right? So interestingly, the planets for astrology is Mercury, Ketu, and Jupiter. These are the 3 planets which helps us learn astrology. When I became an astrologer at the age of 17, I was running the Mahadasha of Mercury and the Antardasha of Ketu. So I'm sure in a lot of your own horoscopes also today, you will also get to know that, your Ketu, Mercury Dasha or Jupiter Dasha must be in operation right now. Only then you will be inclined to learn astrology. These are the houses which should be activated through these planets. Mercury, Ketu, Jupiter should be posited in, placed in one of these houses. House number 2, which is your speech. House number 5, which is your education. House number 8, which is the house of occult sciences, astrology. House number 10 is your career. House number 12 is your spiritual aspects of life, or moksha. So these planets must be connected, and the sign, the Rashi, should be either 4, which is your Cancer sign, 8 or Scorpio, or 12 is your Pisces. So these are the 3 houses which gives us inclination to study anything which is occult. Right. Now, I'm sure you would have now got to know that how things are moving in astrology, and how we need to take things forward. Now, I will show you something very interesting right now, because now that you know the combinations of astrologer and how it works, consider this now, okay? As we are talking now and we are discussing this, aspect of astrology and having a class on astrology, this is the horoscope for now, okay? ये अभी की कुंडली है इस समय की, जो प्रश्न कुंडली जिसको हम बोलते हैं, और आप अभी ये देखिए कि इस समय पे, just consider is at this time how we can look at astrology class going on. Now this is your lagna. All right, this is your Lagan Kundli. Lagan Kundli has a Scorpio sign, which we discussed, 4, 8, 12, one of those. 8 is Scorpio. Scorpio is the house of, is the sign of astrology, by the way. because it's the 8th house of the zodiac of the Kalpurish Kundli. So Scorpio is the house of astrology. Ketu is posited in this house, which means that there is a connection of past life, that you should be involved in astrology. Otherwise, without this blessing of Ketu, we cannot learn astrology. So Ketu is already making a connection with Scorpio sign. Then the second planet we said was Mercury. And here Mercury is sitting in the 9th house of your luck, your destiny, your religion, and making a connection with Sun, right? Sun is the house of career. So Sun Mercury together, which is also forms a Buddha Aditya Yoga, which is a yoga of great learning and great education. So this combination is happening in the 9th house of your Bhagya, your destiny. So this shows that right now we're discussing something which is going to impact our destiny forever. All right. And moon is being aspected by Mercury. See this combination. The moon has to be aspected by Mercury in this combination. Mercury is also in the watery sign of Cancer. First we discussed Scorpio, then your Mercury is also in the 4th sign of Cancer, which is an astrological sign. Now also one more combination, Jupiter, which is the 3rd planet, is influencing your Karma Kshetra, your house of action. And Jupiter is also influencing Mars, right? So it shows education. Jupiter is your house of education. That means education in astrology or anything occult is going to happen at this time. So this is the beauty of astrology, how we learn, and this is a display of how planets are aligned right now for all of us to talk about astrology and get deeper into astrology. Okay, all right. Okay, now this we have seen, and now I will come to the courses, that what kind of courses are we offering, and what is the objective of my course. See, I have showed you that in the market or in the industry you will see there are a lot of courses going on. I myself learned through the a formal course from Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, but the problem is that when I showed you this compendium, this compendium in Vedic astrology, look at this, and it has close to 700 pages, and we have, this is just one shastra, we have like this at least 10. We have Mansagri, Faldipika, different methods to use. And academically, you can learn astrology from anywhere. That's not going to be a problem. I assure you, you will be able to learn astrology. But when you open the Shastra and when you try learning on your own, the problem is that on one page, the Rishi will be talking about certain combinations which makes an event happen. But on the other side, they will mention the combinations which will not let the event happen. So there is a contradiction here, okay? On the one side, we have 100 principles which tells us that an event is going to happen. But at the same time, there are 100 other principles mentioned in the Shastras which negate those principles. For example, I will give you an example. You must have heard about a planet which is debilitated, okay? जो planet नीच हो जाता है, नीच राशि में चले जाता है. For example, Mercury. Now Mercury is debilitated in Pisces sign, okay? Mercury gets weak in the Pisces sign. When we read the Shastras, it shows that it tells us that a planet which is debilitated will devoid us of every pleasure related to that planet. That means Mercury is weak, so we'll not have a good education. We'll not have, our mother will not have any brothers. We will not have good logic. We'll not have good negotiation skills. We'll not have good communication skills. But you'll be surprised to know that people with debilitated Mercury are the best communicators in this industry. All right. Even myself, I also have a debilitated Mercury. But, I learned astrology, which is the Karaka of astrology is debilitated. But I happened to learn astrology. It gave me astrology so quickly in my life that normally people learn it at the age of 50 or 60. I got to learn astrology at the age of 15. So what is that miracle? How did a debilitated planet give us this, miraculous results, that too so early in life? So this is the combination which you will not be able to understand, just by reading the Shastras or the text. because we all need a guru in life. I also had my guru, I had my father. Then I learned it through under Shri K.N. Rao. But even there, we never got to learn the predictive part. Okay, we have the academic part. We know there are hundreds of principles to predict, but exact principles, that I've gathered over my own research for 24 years, that is something I will be sharing with you during this course. So the course that I have here is to make you a successful astrologer, and not to just make you a gold medalist in astrology. You can give any big yarn on astrology to anybody, but if you cannot predict, then your role as an astrologer is incomplete. And that is what my responsibility is for you, that I want to make you a successful astrologer. And that can only happen when we have clarity. We don't have to just get into the each and every principle of astrology. They're very clear cut things I have figured out in my own assessment of 24 years. So that is something which you will be able to get and understand. Now, the kind of methods or teaching that I have, I will tell you how I'm going to teach in these classes. See, my emphasis on the courses will be more on application. Okay, I will be more on application, because the theoretical part is something that you will be able to learn. I will be giving you some notes also, so you will be able to understand the theory part. We will definitely discuss the theory, but alongside the theory, how we are going to use it in our life is something which you should be able to practice alongside the course. Okay, so the first thing that I will do is focus on the application part. Then I will also be giving you notes after every class. Now, the pattern that I follow is that first 10 minutes of every class, I do a recap of what was done in the previous class. And I will be giving you homework as well. So you need to be ready on your own part, because see, I can give you my methods and principles and everything, but you need to execute it. You also need to work hard alongside me. आप don't expect कि आपको सब कुछ मिलेगा and you will just sit there and do and just look at the principles and you will become an astrologer. In fact, मेरा role जो है इसमें, my role is just 20% in this, to help you get clarity on principles, how we need to use what principle and what time. But the application जो है वो आपको अपने level पे करनी होगी. You will have to study horoscopes of your family, friends, relatives, anybody that who's around you, to see how those principles work. Even though I will share my own case studies also, but अपनी life में आपको अपने लिए you have to use these principles to understand. Okay. Now, I will also discuss case studies of real life, not people who are celebrities, but people who are actually from real life and with their time of birth, which is accurate. Because in case of celebrities, there's no point I will discuss horoscope of Amitabh Bachchan when I don't even have his time of birth. So we'll not get into those, wishful, larger than life discussions. We will keep it very practical, very scientific. I will give you horoscopes of people who have actually seen those issues happening in their lives. I have case studies on all aspects of life. Then, as I mentioned, I will give you homework. You need to collect horoscopes and apply what has been learned. Plus, you need to do your revision. In the first 10 minutes is all about revising what was learned in the previous class, and the last 15 minutes is about asking the questions in every class. So the last 15 minutes will be reserved to ask questions. And also I will be giving tests to you. Okay. I think we will keep it roughly around once in 2 weeks, or when we will complete, the predictive part, then I will give you some tests, and where I will give you a scenario of a horoscope, and you have to tell me the education of the person, the career of the person, and the married life of that person. But this will come later when I have already told you all the principles. उसके बाद हम ये इस level पे आएंगे. And we will also, I will make a WhatsApp group. Our team will make a WhatsApp group for you, where there will be daily discussion and brainstorming of any research, any new principle that is there. And I want you to, also participate actively in that WhatsApp group. In case you happen to miss the class, then I will also, arrange a video recording of the class. So we'll have the recordings of the class any which way. So you will have access to those that content as well. Now, the timings of the class, we have decided that we should keep it, normally twice a week. So it would be on Wednesday and Saturday, and it will be a 2-hour class. And We will be definitely open to your own suggestions on when we want to have the class, those 2 hours. But my experience says that we should keep it, at the end of the day, because that time, you have some peace of mind and you can also concentrate on the class. Even though I understand your energy level will be down at that time, say around 9 p.m. at night, but that is the time when your subconscious mind is highly active, and during that moment you will be able to learn astrology. But that is something which we'll figure out as we get some feedback from the students. All right, so that is the details about what we were discussing. Now, quickly, I will take you through the course content and what is the content of the course that we have. Just a second. Okay. Okay, now this is the course that we are having. So as I mentioned, we have the beginners course and the advanced course. So let's look at the content of the beginners course. Quickly, I will take you through it. You can also refer to the website. You will see the details there. We'll share the link with you. Now, when we talk about the basic course, we'll start with this topic. This, as I mentioned, this involves Parashari and Gemini aspects of astrology. We have astronomy and astrology. This is basically a mathematical part. So we will not use too much of time here, because this will end up taking at least 4 classes. So we don't want to waste time on too much here. I will give you notes and I'll give you a brief overview, and then you can understand the astronomy and the astrological connection there. And also this part, this is also factual. So historical evolution of Jyotish, astrological classics, that I will provide you in the form of notes. Now, this is what you will learn in a systematic way. The classes will be designed to address these aspects of your basic astrology. The houses, in terms of the 12 houses, their key characteristics, significations, and how they are resembled in the Kalpurush Kundli. The planets, how the planets are, giving us results, what is their exaltation, debilitation sign, their friendship, enmity, how do they gain directional strength, which are the good and bad planets for us, how do they behave in different houses and different ascendants, what does it mean for the planets. Then the rashis, or the signs, the zodiac signs like Aries, Taurus, Gemini, what are their characteristics and which planets actually own them. Then the yogas, which is the Raj Yogas, the Dhan Yogas, all the Neech Bhang Raj Yogas. The divisional charts, here we'll not get into the mathematical part of how to make a divisional chart, but we will get into how to interpret the divisional chart. So that is the important connection. For example, if you're looking at a career of a person, in your Lagna Kundli, in your ascendant horoscope, you will see that a certain planet is negative. But if in the D10 chart, which is the Shamsha chart, it gets strength, then the planet will give good results in spite of it being weak in the main chart. So this is the role of divisional charts. Ashtak Varga and Sarvashta Varga, well, I will make you understand this, but they have to be used in a very specific way. We don't have to get into these, the theory part of Ashtavarga, otherwise they do work in our lives, but at a very different level. They don't work, like a mathematical calculation, but only in certain cases. In what cases they work, I will be explaining that. Then the Shadbal calculation, that which planet is going to be strong for you and which is weak. Your Dasha Paddhati method, which is Vimshotri, will also use Yogini, Chardasha, and all those timing methods. The transit, which is the Saturn, Jupiter transit, Sadesati, double transit, all those things will be covered in the transit part. How to read, after all this, how to read a horoscope, what are the general rules of judgment, how to analyze a birth chart. And of course, now here I will also give you the formulas, the specific ways how you need to read a horoscope, because when we do it, a formal course of it, you can read from anywhere or read self-learning through the books. But this is where you will struggle the most. How to read a horoscope? This is where we make the basic mistakes I've seen people making in here. So this is where I think, we'll have a good discussion, and we will be able to address how to, and we'll go a systematic way. There's steps. We cannot ignore the second step before we reach the third step. So we have to go in a very sequential manner. Then the horary method. This is a beautiful invention of Vedic astrology, the Prashan Kundli, which we also call the horary method. This is so accurate that you will be just surprised how this works. It can even tell you where you will find something which has been missing from your house, and where, in which direction, and which metal, like we discussed the role of dhatu. Now here we will know which metal, that is it kept under glass, or which is kept under something which involves silver. All these things will be discussed here. Then the Varshfal, which is your annual horoscope, and the Muhurat, that is how to take out the right time and the right auspicious time for any activity. Like we want to join a new job, then what should be the right Muhurat? We want to get married, then what is the Muhurat? All those things. And lastly, the Gemini part, okay, the Gemini astrology. Here we'll talk about the Karkas. Here the planetary significations are different from the Parashari methods. Here we'll have to talk about the Char Dasha, the Manduk Dasha, the Sthir Dasha, and how we're going to interpret. Remember, Gemini astrology is a separate branch within Parashari astrology, but we have to, reconcile these aspects. Otherwise, if you read it, independently, you will not be able to use it for prediction. You will have the information, you will know, okay, these planets are important for predictions, but you will not know how to make predictions. So that is the problem that you normally be students face. And that is why, I will be able to shed some light on this. And now the second part of the course, the advanced level course, okay. Now this is where the Krishna Murti and the Nakshatra Nadi method will come into picture. But this you will only be able to understand when you have information about the basics of astrology. Without the basics, you will not be able to understand the Krishnamurti Paddhati and the Nakshatra system. But once we get into this course, this is such a brilliant course. This is the invention of the 20th century, I would say. Last 15 to 20 years, this system has evolved drastically, and this is so accurate that you can actually pinpoint small things. For example, in education, we can even tell that what are the combinations for education, what are the no education. Sometimes people don't even complete their education. So what are the combinations in that case? Foreign education, scholarships, competitive exams, if you'll get any prizes or not, the general performance. Similarly, litigation. Now, a lot of times there are people in life who never ever get into litigation, and because the combinations are such in their horoscopes. But there are, on the other hand, there are people who are never out of litigation in their lives. So this is the the interesting aspect that we will be discussing. Of course, I'll provide you case studies as well, where we can see how things will move. Similarly, property and vehicle, when we are going to buy a property, when we are going to sell a property, whether it should be commercial property or it should be residential property. Can we have rental income from that property? Will we have a change of residence? These are specific formulas, okay? Here, the academic part is very less. It's all about the practice. I will give you specific formulas regarding all these courses, and we'll have the very specifics about these, okay? This is all application now. Health. Now, we'll just look at the combinations that, what are the planets which gives us health, bad health, accidents, death. Even that we will discuss, even though I don't really predict death for anybody, but still I will tell you the principles and the case studies for this, where we can even predict something, that if something is going to happen or not. And I've had numerous case studies now during the Corona times as well. The last 1 year or so, a lot of my a lot of people had approached me, and I used the the KP system to predict if the recovery would be possible or not. And you will be surprised that the accuracy is almost 95% there. So this is the beauty of this KP system that we have. Similarly, the travel, when we are going to travel, whether we'll settle abroad, we will come back to the country. Why will we travel? For marriage, education, or a pilgrimage, career. Now, this is something which we all are interested in, and most of the people go through this problem. that, what are the combinations for a good career? What are the combinations for a no job or loss of job? uh, the interviews, when do we change a job, whether we should do job or business? What is the nature of job? Well, will there be a break in career? Will there be a change in career? Will I get transferred? Will I get a promotion? And the case study. Similarly, marriage, what are the combinations? Love affairs, sexual relationships, what kind of a relationship we'll have, love marriage or arranged marriage, divorce, what are the combinations of little unpredictable sexual behavior, especially of those of LGBT group. Then no marriage combinations. Children, then what are the combinations for children, no children, how many children, miscarriages, when do we caution a person that they should not go forward because it's a miscarriage period that is in operation, and the case studies, longevity, which is about the Badak, the Marak houses, how do we calculate longevity, the nature of death, and the rectification of time birth. How do we rectify? If somebody doesn't have the exact time birth, then how do we rectify that? That is also something which we're going to study here. Then the horary aspect, which is the Prashna Kundli, because even Krishnapurti Paddhati has a different way of using Prashna Kundli. So this is a little different from the Parashari system, but also very accurate. Then the birth time rectification and remedies. This remedies will also cover in the basic course also. The basics of remedies we will also cover in that session. Right? So this is how we are going to take this session forward. And I hope you have now got a basic idea of how these courses are going to proceed. Okay. So now there's one more announcement that I wanted to make. In fact, our team was working on the feedback that we got from a lot of people. So I also wanted to make an announcement that, apart from these two courses of basic and advanced, we are also launching a new course on the, it's a crash course on astrology for a month, because a lot of people, they don't have too much time right now. They're studying, they're working. So they just want to understand the basics of astrology first, and then they want to pursue the predictive part. So we have also launched now a basic course, which is only of 1 month. And that the classes will be held twice a week for 2 days, which is 2 hours, sorry. And that will be the format. So the details our team will share with you separately. Right. So in case any of you have any questions, then I will be, happy to take them, or else we will end up the session. Yeah.
Sir?
Yes. Who's that?
Sir, I'm Vivek Mohan.
Yeah,
I'm
Vivek.
eagerly waiting to attend your classes, sir. It was such a nice presentation, and I have learned a lot from your demo class. So I'm very keen to attend your class. Sir, I have two questions.
Yeah.
One, when will the classes start? And second is, what will be the fee structure of your courses, both for basic and the advanced one? And you also talked about the crash course. So can you elaborate something on it?
Yeah. So see, the fee structure is something which, my team will take care of that. We will text you on that. And I think you already would have got a message. If not, I will request the team to share that with you. The batches, we are starting it from the first week of August this year. And we are starting with these courses. Now the crash course is something which we have just announced today. So if anybody is interested in the crash course, then the classes will obviously be starting in the first week of August only for that as well. So if anybody wants to reach out to us, then I'll request my team members to be in touch with you, so that they will be able to guide you how to proceed on this. And also on the payment part, we will share the details with you. You can, the team will let you know. Will guide you on that.
Sir, one more question. Is there any chances of offline classes?
Well, see, right now we used to have offline classes earlier, before we were struck by COVID. But now, for the safety of everybody, and and with all the precautions that are in place, we are only doing online classes now, and that's how we are going to take it forward. So right now it's only online. Offline right now, because when the situation gets better, then we will look at online classes as well. But now I think at least for next couple of batches, we are not looking at offline.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks. All right. Okay, so I think we are at the end of the session now. And if anybody has any queries, then you can reach out to my team, and we will be able to help you out. And I hope you had a feel of how astrology is, and how beautiful and miraculous this science is. So I'm sure that you will be very eager to see how it's going to impact your own life.